Okay, I'm making this little blurb to introduce this video. First, welcome to our channel where we talk about plant-based eating for busy people. And right now we're focusing on this series of this amazing food plan. And we, of course, are taking it to the next level by also making it fast and easy. So we are not straying from our mission of fast and easy, but we are really concentrating on this magical food plan. So this is day 6, and we are so glad you're here. We're going to have the totals at the end of the video with a little explanation of why we did what we did today. And it was a very busy day, and we are just grateful to have ways to make it work even during busy times. So welcome. Enjoy these meal suggestions and our thoughts at the end, and we'll see you for the next day. And in the next day, I'm going to tell you the results of our doctor visit and also our weight loss to date and all of the wonderful things that are happening because of this. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. So breakfast this morning is quick. Usually on a Saturday we have smoothie bowls. That is our weekend tradition on Saturdays and Sundays, but we have been planting the garden today. So this is what we're doing quick breakfast, and it's the same as usual. We have our steel cut oats with fruit and the vegetable. We have a Ruby, which we already drank this morning to hydrate before we went out and planted. We had the active today. So I don't have that to show. And then the Creo, of course, as well. So you might think it's the same breakfast every morning, which is kind of true, but that's part of the key to being able to sustain this food plan and have it work so well. And it's not the same every morning. We have a different Ruby every morning. We have different fruit in our oats, and we often have a different vegetable. So we still have variety, but we know that this works and this sticks with us so well, and it is just the best. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. See you at lunchtime. Just really quick, I gotta show you something fun in my flowers. This clematis, it is just one of the delights of my life. Absolutely love this. I'm glad to have somebody to show it off to. In all seriousness though, we'll be having breakfast for lunch today. We're mixing things up a bit. It's summer. It's going to be like this a lot. The cool thing is that this food plan still works and is working for us. And so because of how quick and easy and flexible it is, with the little tweaks that we make, it's working. So we'll be showing breakfast for lunch and a few other mix-ups, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. As long as we get all the good stuff in, we can do it in any order we want and in any way that we want. So let's keep going. For the Eggy McMuffin sandwiches, we just have a block of tofu that I drained. I didn't bother pressing it. You don't have to do that. And I crumbled it into a hot pan. So it's currently warming in this pan, which is on medium heat. And I don't really need to brown it or anything. And then all I do is add these spices to make it like scrambled eggs. So these are the spices. There are 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast under there, and a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of onion powder, quarter teaspoon black pepper, quarter teaspoon turmeric, and then I have 3/4 of a teaspoon black salt, which gives it that egg flavor and smell, and then I have a half a teaspoon of just normal salt. So I'm just gonna sprinkle all those on there. And go ahead and mix it all in. And the eggs will kind of turn yellow. I got this recipe from plantwise.com, and it is delicious. The first time I made it, I was afraid it was too many spices, too many seasonings, but when we have it with the sandwich, it's just right. It really is just right. We almost always have this with our smoothie bowls, and we usually have it for breakfast, but today it's lunch. That smells amazing. Okay, now we'll get the smoothies. With the smoothie bowls, we like to have a chia pudding. This helps us, it's a fun way to eat chia seeds, and it makes the smoothie bowl so good with a new texture in there, and we love it as a topping. We also get this recipe from plantwise.com. So we're just going to start with a cup of soy milk, new carton. So we'll start with a cup of soy milk. And then this is one of those times when we are going to use actual dairy, non-fat Greek yogurt. If you look at the protein content for one serving of yogurt, it's 17 grams of protein. And we use very little of it. It's non-fat, so obviously it has no fat that we're adding here. So this is one of those times when this actually is, as long as you don't have a dairy issue, when for our purposes, we really like Greek yogurt. And so again, we don't use it very much, and it's really the only dairy product we ever use, but it is just right for this recipe and for a few other little things. So, and really awesome with the protein. So, oh, and the other thing about Greek yogurt, all yogurts, is they have the benefits of being, fermented. They have the probiotics. So the plant yogurts have that as well, but that added with the protein makes this a good bet. So there is our yogurt. Then we're just going to add 1 tablespoon of maple syrup for sweetening, and a teaspoon of vanilla, and then we will do our chia seeds. So we have the chia seeds. I'm just gonna 1/3 of a cup. Put those in. Use my whisk to kind of whisk it together. And then I'm just gonna pop this in the fridge, and by the time I make the smoothie and toast the bread for the sandwich, this will be set up perfectly. And this will keep in the fridge for several days as well. I have noticed I've made this with plant yogurts as well, and it gets a little thicker with the Greek yogurt. So that's just a matter of, that's FYI, just in case that matters to you. Plant yogurts will make it a little bit thinner. All right, I'll pop this in the fridge with the lid, and then let's get that smoothie made and eat. For the smoothie, I usually just always make the old standby, which for us is the blueberry kale smoothie. It's a really great base for smoothie bowls. So I use our Ninja blender. It's so awesome. It does the stop and go automatically for the smoothie, and I absolutely love it. So I start with, I'm just going to, for simplicity's sake, I always use just 1 whole package I actually have a video here on the website making this with the recipe, but I'll just give it all to you here as well. So I'm going to use, for the purposes here, I'm going to use just 1 bag of the Members Mark mixed fruit. It's a peach, pineapple, strawberry mix. So let me just get that opened and put that in there. Okay. Oh, whoops. I almost forgot. Lost a piece of pineapple back there. Gonna say that. The first thing I do is actually put 3 cups of soy milk into the blender. I just use the graduated marks. So 3 cups of soy milk in the blender. Just saves me dishes and measuring and stuff like that. Then I put the fruit in. Frozen, still frozen. Then I'm going to add a half a cup of Thrive freeze-dried blueberries. We really like these in here. They are a natural sweetener and they mask the taste and the color of the kale. And then for the kale, I'm going to use the Thrive freeze-dried kale because it never goes wilty or bad on me, but it has the same nutrients. And I like these smaller cans of the kale. I get the blueberries in the big can because we use so many of them. But this is a little more convenient in the small. And then I'm going to put I usually put 1/4 cup or more. So I'll just kind of maybe even a little bit more because it's so good for you. Okay, so there it is in the blender. And then the only other thing that I add is a little splash of vanilla. And I'm not even fussy about my vanilla. I just use, I literally just like that much in a cap. Just for a little extra flavor there. And then I'm just going to put on the lid and turn it on. And now that it's done blending, I'll just show you how beautiful that is. So there's our smoothie base. All right, let's assemble these smoothie bowls. I'm so excited. So to do it, the way we have it figured, we'll do about 1 cup of smoothie. I'm just getting that out of the blender here. Let me just show you. This smoothie is so good all by itself. We always have, when it's just the 2 of us, we always have a little bit left over. And I just put this in the freezer in a container and it'll freeze and it'll be kind of icy, but we just pull it out for a bit and there's enough left in there to make another couple of smoothie bowls. So on the weekends, we usually have it Saturday morning and Sunday morning. So I like to put in a little granola for texture. So I use this protein granola and just 1/4 cup because it's not really that much that is good about the granola. It is high protein, so there's that, but there's a fair amount of sugar in there, but sure makes it taste good. And then we're going to do about 1/4 cup of the vanilla chia pudding. So if you want to look at that, oh my gosh, it's so good. Now, some people don't love the texture of chia pudding. I adore it. It is really good to mix up in there. And then we just have a bunch of berries here. So we'll just use, you can make it pretty. Sometimes we have these Sunday night with some of our grandkids, and I have one granddaughter in particular who always arranges her berries beautifully. It's cute, actually. She likes to make a fun design on hers. So that's fun to do, but I'm not doing it today. I usually don't do it often. It tastes amazing still, though. I'm going to put some blueberries in there. Woo. And then our raspberries. Sometimes we have blackberries, whatever's in season. Right now, berries are on sale because there's quite a few in season right now. So yay for that. I washed them in the package. Now we already have a lot of blueberries in our smoothie, but the berries are just fun. And you just can't ever have too much fruit. So there are our smoothie bowls, and then I will show you our sandwich and we'll be back. Okay, today we're going to have it on this, my daughter-in-law made this sourdough bread. So I toasted it. It's a little too toasted, but I don't want to waste the bread, so we're going to use it anyway. Typically I like toasted. And then I'm just going to divide this kind of into quarters like we so often do when we're trying to, you know, keep track of the nutrients. So there we go. And we'll just put a quarter of this on the bread. Now our calorie allowance for this meal says we can eat both slices of bread, but sometimes we just have it on one open-faced. My husband's especially, for whatever reason, he likes to just have it on one slice of bread. So I do not like too much Cholula. I like the flavor of it just a smidge. So that's what I've put on there. And that is the sandwich. And then I'm going to go ahead and slice a cucumber to go with the meal, because even though this is super filling and a lot of food already, we are very strict about observing the one fruit and one vegetable at least with every meal. So that comes from the Plant-Wise food protocol, and we love it. We have noticed all kinds of benefits from that, most especially fiber. And also everything, just the meals are so much more filling and for almost no calorie cost. So really awesome. So there we go. I'll be back with the full meal. All right, this is it. I will have the numbers for you, and we'll put them up here on the video. But that is beautiful, and you can just imagine how good that will be for us. So have a great afternoon. We're headed into town. We've been gardening all day. We have to run in to pick up a couple of tools and some other supplies. I just fixed up these 2 hamburger bowls, lentil hamburger bowls, with leftovers from yesterday. I had everything left over. It's probably not as many tomatoes on here as I would like, because I'm not going to stop to cut up some more. But I had one last little baggie of rice in the freezer, so I'm just going to split it up. These aren't as pretty as yesterday because I put everything on in the wrong order, but half will go on this one. By the way, the brown rice, I didn't mention this yesterday, it's the perfect kind of chewy. It makes you feel like you're really eating hamburger. It's like so cool. It's hard to explain. You kind of have to try it just for yourself and see. And the flavor with the bouillon and all the other things there, it's just so perfect. So, and there's pickles and onions and everything on there too. So I'm going to just put on a squirt of ketchup. I know this seems like the weirdest combo. It is so stinking good. Okay. Ooh, a little bit of, I am such a mustard fan. Not everyone is, but that's okay. And those are ready to go. And they don't have to be refrigerated. So that's a plus too. So gonna got those going. Got a couple napkins, couple apples for fruit. Gonna grab some forks. Wrap them in the napkin. Then we'll just take these in a bag. And wherever we are, whenever it's time to eat, we will have a meal finished and ready to roll. And of course, we'll take our water bottles and probably eat at a park or something, or just in the truck, whatever. But anyway, that is how we do it on a busy run to town day. Thanks, guys. All right, as I was sitting here just quickly getting the numbers together to go with the meals for this day, there was something I wanted to point out, and at the risk of being micromanaging or pointing out the obvious, I don't mean to do that. It's just that this meal plan is so effective and works so well, startlingly so. It's almost like magic to me. It's like the magic bullet that I always thought didn't exist, but apparently it kind of does, at least for me, and I would be shocked if it doesn't work for everyone else as well. But it boils down to the key things that we are focusing on in the food plan, which is fewer than 30 grams of fat a day and more than 60 grams of protein a day, and also more than at least 30 grams of fiber a day, which we actually aim even higher than that. And then we're trying to keep our calories in the right calorie range, and that varies from person to person. But for me, I'm just sticking to the 1,500 calories a day. So what Allie over at Plantwise has done is broken that down into per meal totals, which has turned out to be a magical thing for me. If I had to do that low-key calculating in my head, like, oh, I only got 10 grams of protein for breakfast, so now I've got to try to see if I can get, another 50 somehow between lunch and dinner. You can see how that mentally starts to bog you down. So I try to stick pretty close to Allie's recommendations. And it just makes things easier. I don't have to think about it anymore. We've identified these meals that meet the criteria and they work. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But in a day like today, you will notice when you see the numbers that our lunch totals were high in the fat range, and sometimes you'll see a little lower in the protein ranges. Definitely not with today's lunch, but in other days on other meals. But you'll see that we do make it up in other meals. So even though we don't make a practice of that, you'll notice with the meals this week. So I'm just going to go ahead and read you the totals for the meals this week. Our breakfast for today was just like so many of our other breakfasts. It had 476 calories, 19.5 grams of protein, 21.3 grams of fiber, and 9.5 grams of fat. So that's actually a textbook meal right there. But our lunch was a little higher in calories and fat. It had 647 calories, 30.75 grams of protein, which is amazing. That's outstanding. We don't worry about getting too much protein unless it's really off the charts. And then 13.1 grams of fiber and 19.9 grams of fat. So that is high. And that's because of our chia pudding and some of the other things. But we made up for that with dinner, which was 439 calories, 18.1 grams of protein, 18 grams of fiber, and 2.5 grams of fat. And in my head, just because I'm becoming more and more familiar with these meals and with this plan, in my head, I knew that that was going to happen. Or if I'm having this particular lunch, which is like that smoothie bowl, we usually have that for breakfast on weekends. It's just a fun breakfast that makes it feel festive. Like, it's the weekend. Woohoo, we get to eat yummy things. And so we'll make up for it with a very low fat meal, which we have so many options of. And we're also usually running, so we resort a lot to leftovers on weekends. And we have a freezer full of options. So just wanted to point that out, just how you can work that in and how convenient it is. And I'll leave it at that. I feel like I could talk and talk and talk about how awesome this is, but I'll leave that for another video. Just have a great day, guys.